You keep talking. It's okay.
Yeah. Well,
A City Council March 18th meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. I want to go ahead and start our city council meeting. We have no announcements today, but we do have a March Disability Awareness Month proclamation.
The month of March has been designated as Disability Awareness Month to celebrate and recognize people with disabilities by the Governor of the state of Indiana.
Whereas disability is a natural part of the human experience
and in no way diminishes the right of individuals with disabilities to live independently,
enjoy self-determination, make choices, contribute to society, and experience full
in the economic, political, social, cultural,
and educational mainstream of American society.
And whereas family members, friends, and members of the community can play a central role in enhancing the lives of people with disabilities,
especially when the family and community are provided with necessary support services.
And public and private employers are aware of the capabilities of people with disabilities
to be engaged in competitive work in inclusive settings.
Properly include providing individuals with disabilities
the opportunities and support
to make informed choices and decisions,
live in homes and communities where such individuals can exercise their full rights and responsibilities as citizens,
pursue meaningful and productive lives,
contribute to their family, community, state, and nation.
Therefore, I, Scott Fadness, Mayor of the City of Fishers, along with the Honorable City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Disability Awareness Month in the City of Fishers. Furthermore, I encourage the citizens of Fishers to seek counsel and input from any person or group with knowledge and expertise in matters concerning disabilities.
Great, thank you. We have two presentations this evening. First up, we have the Fishers Junior High School We the People State Champions. Please come up. Right in front here by the podium here.
fill in back here.
You guys are gonna help. So you guys come over here. Come over here. There you go. Why don't you go a little bit further down? There you go. And then why don't we start? We'll start here and kind of roll that way.
Now, if you guys could share a little bit about the journey you've been on and the accomplishments that you've had, we'd love to hear about it.
We the People is an instructional program that teaches U.S. civics and history, enhancing students' understanding of government. In these classes, we learn about the Constitution, Bill of Rights, the history behind these documents, and the laws of our government. In We the People, we also look at different events in United States history, both past and current, especially ones that we have or could potentially shape the future of our nation.
Another key part of We the People is the presentation aspect. We compete in simulated congressional hearings where we read a prepared statement, such as this one, and answer questions from judges about what we wrote. These hearings allow us to demonstrate our understanding of the principles of the government and the Constitution.
These competitions have really helped me grow as a student, a member of We the People, and a person in general. Through both class and actual competition, I've seen my reading, writing, and speaking skills improve drastically. Though maybe that's not saying much, considering how many times this one has called me Alexander Hamilton because of my supposed wordiness. Another thing in We the People that has helped me grow is the mock trial we performed. I played the role of an attorney and really enjoyed being able to work with my team, especially when brainstorming with my fellow attorney to figure out what to ask for cross-examination. In the actual trial, my favorite part was, by far, cross-examination, though I was told that I was intimidating and mean by the people on my side and by my opponents. Discussions I've had both in and simply because of We the People have also been really interesting to me. I love the fact that my friends and I will go from joking around and talking about who knows what to being in deep discussions about government, religion, papers, or some other We the People related topic in no time at all. Being able to engage in these conversations and learn more in each one of them has oftentimes been the highlight of my day, despite me never even having the thought to talk about half this stuff before We the People.
We the People has really been a positive experience for me as well. It's been really fun to be able to learn about our government and how it works because I honestly knew very little about it before joining We the People. The knowledge that I have gained from this class is something that is really important to know in order to be a good, well-informed citizen of our country, and it is something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. However short it may be, especially considering how many members of We the People are out to get me. In spite of that, I really enjoyed being able to make friends in We the People and connect with people I wouldn't have met otherwise. I especially appreciate the discussions we've been able to have together and being able to hear other people's perspectives and ideas on things. Being able to understand and relate with others' opinions and see new points of view is something that I wasn't very good at before becoming a member of We the People. But now I feel like I have become much better at not getting stuck in my own opinions and have been able to make connections with the opinions of others.
Within the program itself, there are 6 different groups called units. Each unit has an assigned category. Within they must become experts. For example, I'm a part of Unit 3, which focuses on the Philadelphia Convention and looks at the Constitution's adaptation and growth over the years, as well as the different powers each branch of government has.
My unit, which is Unit 5, focuses on how the Constitution protects our rights, so we get a lot into Supreme Court cases and the amendments in the Bill of Rights. The other 4 units are Unit 1, which addresses the founders' basic ideas about the government and how they were influenced by ancient philosophers. Unit 2 is very history-based and focuses on the Articles of Confederation. Unit 4, which addresses what the founders thought about political parties, as well as how they've evolved, the power of judicial review, and federalism. Lastly, there's Unit 6, which focuses on current events, as well as what responsibilities we have as citizens to uphold the Constitution and everything it stands for.
Being on the We the People team has really helped show each of the members, especially me, the importance of compromising. Each person has to learn how to work well with one another, remembering and understanding that what's important to one person might not be a big deal to another, and that each person has their own ideas and opinions on different matters. This is a very important lesson to learn, especially now when compromising has become less valued. Thank you guys for letting us come here and recognizing us this way. It means a lot.
Well, no question to me that if you guys were doing a mock congressional hearing, you were exemplifying the type of maturity and composure that does not exist in Congress today. So thank you for being the leaders that you are. And we have a small token of appreciation and recognition of all of your hard work and representing our community so well. So I'll hand these out, then we'll grab a picture, and we'll let you guys get on your way. I know you have a busy week. Thank you.
Congratulations on behalf of the council and the city. We're really proud of you.
Just kneel down.
Good job, everyone.
Congratulations again. As you know, March is Disability Awareness Month, and in the month of March, the Fishers Advisory Committee on Disability recognizes community leaders, businesses who are making a difference in our community with regard to disability inclusion, and we have 3 recipients for this year's March Disability Awareness Month Awards, and we wanted to introduce these individuals and share a little bit about them because we're really proud as well, and we are lucky about having such wonderful people as part of our community and helping us to create a life without limits for everybody. So our first recipient is Stacy Oldham. Stacy is the recipient of the 2024 Life Without Limits Award, and I'd like to direct you to the screen so you can see a little bit about what Stacy has done to help our community.
Hi, my name is Shauna, and I've known Stacy Oldham for about 10 years. During that time, she's been involved in many facets of disability awareness and progress in the city of Fishers. Her motivation to get involved and help educate and facilitate change stems from her own personal story. Stacy was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at age 20 and told by doctors that she would most likely not live beyond 50 years old. She was also told that she would not be able to conceive children. Thankfully, Stacy proved them wrong. At age 40, she did conceive a child, and last December, Stacy celebrated her 59th birthday. She is a walking miracle and an inspiration to all who know her. Stacy has served on the Fishers Advisory Committee for many years and has put an enormous amount of time and energy into educating others and working to eliminate both physical and societal barriers that impact those with disabilities. I marvel at her endurance, leadership, tenacity, and commitment, as she is truly passionate about making our city a better place to live for all. Congratulations, Stacy, for winning the Life Without Limits Award.
Please give a round of applause for Stacy Oldham. Please come up, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy, for everything you've done. Stacy has been serving the disability community when we were even a town with the ADA Transition Task Force team and now with the Fishers Advisory Committee on Disability. And she is rolling off that committee, and we really want to thank you for everything that you've done to help us advance the quality of life. And as you can see, so much has happened since you've been helping us, so thank you.
Well, I'm proud most of South Point Village, and I know that a lot of the things have to be approved by this committee when it comes to budgets. And I'll tell you, South Point Village to me was a building going up, and it was a promise that was made to a man that was 90 years old, and his son was having to live outside of Fishers because we really didn't have anything to accommodate the people who had intellectual disabilities, and they couldn't live their best life. So when you think about all of the budgets you're going to go through, all the things you're going to do as a city council, if you'll think about the individual life like mine, I believe my son will be living there very soon. And I'm thankful for the time you spend, the considerations you make, and the difference we can make due to your approvals of money. It doesn't always take money. It takes just learning what disability is all about. But you certainly play a part in our Disability Awareness Committee, and I'm thankful for all that you've done as well.
Thank you, Stacy. Next, we want to recognize our 2024 Cornerstone Employer Award. That is Lauren Hayes with Heartland Church. Heartland Church has been an amazing partner, and Lauren has been a big impact for us and what she's doing in our community.
This nomination goes out to Lauren Hayes for her work at Heartland Church. As a Cornerstone employer, Lauren has offered career training to multiple students over our 3-year partnership. In my role as a job coach at Hamilton Southeastern Schools, Lauren is exactly who you hope to meet in the community. Her excitement when I told her about our program has been unmatched, and today she still shows her enthusiasm each week when my student and I walk into the church. Lauren gets to know our students, she engages, and she is always grateful and complimentary of our effort. She understands the value of finding a perfect task and does so considering each student's ability. Lauren provides a safe space where we can work independently or alongside some coworkers so to feel a part of the organization. On a larger scale and outside of her efforts to offer career training, Lauren works on behalf of Heartland to host the HSE Best Buddies Prom. Lauren demonstrates a commitment to inclusiveness and continues to shower our kids with opportunities they would have never otherwise received. Lauren, we are thankful for you and for our partnership with Heartland Church. Congratulations on a job well done.
Congrats, Lauren. Please come up.
Hi, well, thank you. It's such an honor and privilege to partner with the community and HSE schools, and again, just beyond blessed to have them a part of our church and just to get to know them. And I think that's the beauty of Disabilities Awareness Month, is that we can highlight the inclusion that we want to see more of in our community. So anyways, well, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for everything you do. And next, we want to recognize our Accessibility Award recipient, Jillian Mack. Please look at the screen to see what Jillian has done in our community.
Congratulations, Jillian. We are both so proud of you. You are so deserving of this. Jillian has dedicated her personal and professional life to creating opportunities for those with disabilities. Her class here at Thorpe Creek Elementary this year includes multiple students in our school's FAP program, and Jillian has made it her mission to build an inclusive environment for all of these students. She's created a classroom community built on respect, acceptance, and inclusivity. She has shown these students that they are just as capable as their typical peers. Outside of the classroom, Jillian's involvement with the Hamilton Southeastern Swim Club also highlights her dedication to inclusion and accessibility. Jillian created the Adaptive Swim program that allows those with special needs to attend swim lessons in a safe and inclusive environment. As a parent of one of these students, I can personally attest to the love, patience, and genuine desire for them to succeed that she brings each week to her lessons. I'm sure that there are many individuals in our great community that deserve this award, but you would be hard-pressed to find one more deserving than Jillian.
I am one of the special education teachers at Thorpe Creek Elementary. I have 4 students in Mrs. Mack's classroom. I want to emphasize that all the teachers and staff in our school are amazing in their commitment. However, Mrs. Mack goes above and beyond. She coordinates with me several times a day to make sure the students are reaching their full potential. Last year, along with our resource teacher, Mrs. Baker, Mrs. Mack co-chaired our Best Buddies program, which is a social club that pairs students with disabilities with their non-disabled peers to build friendships. That 2022-2023 program won an award for its success. Furthermore, Mrs. Mack has very intentionally included disability awareness and inclusivity into her general education curriculum, which further fosters community building. My students' families love Mrs. Mack with good reason. So we are overjoyed that she has won this award.
Congratulations, Jillian.
Congratulations.
Jillian Mack, please come up. Congratulations.
I just wanted to say thank you for this award and the Adaptive Swim Program as part of Fishers now, and it's continuing to grow. We had 9 kids to start, and we're up to 29 kids now. So that's a program that's continuing to grow, and with the community center coming, I am excited to see what that can bring to the city of Fishers. So thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And I think we were going to do a photo one more time with the 3 of them. Scott, 3 recipients.
Can I make one more statement that there's an important game tonight, not tonight, Friday night at the Indy Fuel that I would love to have.
Ross, do we have that video to play? Yep. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll play that video.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right.
Hockey is for everyone! Hockey is for everyone.
A year ago, ground was broken in Fishers, Indiana on the Fishers Event Center. This new home for the Indy Fuel is fueled for the future with programs and amenities designed with everyone in mind.
I can tell you that the city of Fishers is extremely excited about the momentum around the fuel becoming part of our community. I'm so proud of the work of our Disability Awareness Committee and their efforts to ensure that everyone that calls Fishers home can access all the wonderful amenities that we have.
We're going to embrace the community much more. It's going to have a lot more seating options. It's going to have a lot more parking options. Currently where we're at, the benches aren't accessible. With this, we're going to have accessible benches, so it's going to be accommodating for everyone.
We go to great lengths to make sure that we're providing a facility that can accommodate as many people in as many activities as we possibly can. In the greater Indianapolis area, you know, there's the Twisters, there's the Steel, and also there's a program for the blind, which is enabling all these people in not only being able to go to a hockey game, but to actually participate in the game.
The Fishers Event Center, home to the Indy Fuel, is fueled for the future. Coming November 2024.
I love this video. We just want to tell you that Friday night is Disability Night with the Indy Fuel. If you go to the Fishers website, you can find tickets there, and we're just excited to partner with the Indy Fuel and to be able to provide a world-class facility that will accommodate and be inclusive to everybody. So good work by the Fishers Advisory Committee on Disability. All right, so we're moving on to committee council reports. The Finance Committee report, John Weingart, Chair of the committee.
Sure. Thank you, Cecilia. We had a very long meeting last Wednesday. For approval tonight, we recommend for approval on item on 7B on the consent agenda and item 8 and 9, or excuse me, item 9 and 10 on the regular agenda.
Great, thank you. The department reports, we have the Health Department report. It is included in the agenda. You can read up on the latest and greatest with the Health Department. We're going to move on to consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Okay, motion by John Weingart, second by Pete Peterson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes. We're moving on to the regular agenda, the economic development portion of our meeting. We're going to resolution 031824C. It's a Request to approve a project agreement at Gray Eagle.
Thank you. For the record, Megan Baumgartner, Director of Community and Economic Development. For those of you who have been on council for a couple of years or in Fishers for a while, this is certainly no new project, but bringing this back to you for consideration again tonight. Just a quick history, the original Gray Eagle project agreement was brought before council in 2021, and at that time there was a lot of community outreach that happened, working with the Greystone HOA, the Greystone HOA, Gray Eagle HOA, and surrounding neighbors to ensure that the longevity and the vibrancy of that golf course stayed there, because we heard the communities that that's an asset that we wanted to maintain in our city. So we worked with J.C. Hart as the developer, and they worked in conjunction with the Thompson family for the golf course and came up with this great development. Really, as a result of COVID time and now this expanded golf course or golf course clubhouse, we're requesting this to come back. The business terms of this agreement don't change any sort of impact to the city. One item in here in particular that's called out more specifically now is the excess TIF proceeds. So before it was fairly silent on where those went. Now we are putting into this agreement that they are allowed to capture the excess TIF revenues from this project. Obviously, the golf course that's on the upper right-hand side, that went through PUD committee in late 2023. That is a reflection of a significantly larger investment in this area. So they anticipate having a restaurant that will come in as an anchor, as well as providing the clubhouse amenities for the golf course. On the left-hand side, the site plan for the multifamily development still remains the same. So that is an age-targeted development. So it's 101 garden-style multifamily units, some paired patio homes, so they look similar to duplexes, and then some master-up residences as well. So this development still has all of these great amenities, so a lot of outdoor space, pool, clubhouse area for this development, and really enhancing the golf course itself as another great amenity within our community. This is 100% TIF capture. The development team will purchase their own bonds, which is always great for us. There's no waiver of fees along with this project. We're excited that they plan on doing significant improvements again to the golf course itself. All those commitments remain the same as before, again now with just this larger concept plan for the clubhouse. One thing that we as a city team really wanted to focus on is the timing and the commitments of this. So I'm sure if you've driven out here for a while, you've seen some of the construction materials. In this agreement, they must close by October 2025, so that gives them about 18 months to get financing in place and close on the agreement, and then a 24-month construction period for both the multifamily and the golf course improvements in the clubhouse. So no later than October 2027 will we see all of these great all this great work and completed projects out here. Tonight we have some representatives from the golf course team as well as J.C. Hart, and I'll let them come up and share a little bit about why they're so excited about the project and answer any questions that you all might have.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. My name is Dave Corbett, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Happy to be here to speak with you today. This has been a long road. We've had various challenges. Obviously, we know about COVID, the prices of labor and steel, and other challenges that have moved the finish line from one point to another. We are here today after assembling all the information and I think arriving at a project that has met approval, considering the constituents in the neighborhood's interests in this project, and are going to deliver a fabulous product to the market, not only in the golf course, but also in the age-targeted residential multifamily that neighbors this property. So I'm here just to really avail myself to any questions that the council might have or staff might have of us. happy to entertain anything you might want to know.
Thank you. Are
You
there
may
any
not
questions?
start till October of '25?
Well, that was, I think, the goal is to start as soon as possible. So all of the components are together, other than markets have been fluctuating tremendously. And some of the past history of this is that looking at pricing going up and down, trying to target something that fit within the budget. Every time we would go to the market and try and identify a package, the next week the package would be outdated. And so I think I'll let Megan speak on behalf of the city. I think the goal is to get everything in the ground. We've got spent money, if you will. We've already started our investment. And so to actually get everything moving, we just need market conditions to align. And so it was the grace of trying to make sure that we had an opportunity to pull everything together is why we selected, or the date of October 2025 was selected to have our financing in place.
Have you been keeping Gray Eagle HOA informed?
Yes, Councilor. Gray Eagle HOA has received various updates. We are always responsive to those requests. We have had several neighborhood meetings between the residential project and the golf course to make sure that they are informed. We have responded to questions or any type of improvements that they would want to see in the direction of these projects.
One other request, could you keep your employees informed?
Sure.
Because they keep calling me.
Absolutely.
And I don't have the answers.
We'll have a meeting very soon.
Thank you.
Sure, everything is good. Thank you, sir.
And Brad, to clarify on your question, it's the outside closing date. So earlier this year, when we've had to bring back amendments to you all, it's the outside closing date. So that's the date by which the commitment is made. The goal, to Dave's point, is that it's much sooner, but they have that period of time before it would need to come back to council for an amendment.
Are there any other questions?
I certainly just have a comment. Now I spent last summer walking through Gray Eagle, and the neighborhood is very excited about the project and really wants to see it move forward. Certainly with now to address kind of this TIF issue, I'm sure it'll help you go to the marketplace and be more precise on what you're trying to accomplish and get your capital in order and financing order to make it work very well. So I know on behalf of the neighbors of Gray Eagle that I represent, they're very excited about this.
Thank you, Council.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Pete, second by Selena Stoller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes. Thank you very much.
You all.
Get to work.
Okay, moving on to the budget and financial portion of the agenda, to Resolution 031824A. This is a request to approve additional appropriation for the Sewer Availability Fund, and this requires a public hearing. And
for the record, Lisa Bradford, City Controller. The item before you relates to an additional appropriation for the Sewer Availability Fund. For some background, the Sewer Availability Fund is made up of fees paid for development projects. This fund is used to expand sewer capacity, so it's used to expand the capacity of the sewer lines. So this is related to a project around the municipal airport area. This project was initially predominantly funded through the excess proceeds from our HSE acquisition bond. We were lucky enough to get a very good interest rate, allowing us to have excess proceeds that we used for a variety of projects. That was initially funded through there. Now we just have to fund the remaining balance through the Sewer Availability Fund. We'll be out of the cash balance, but there's plenty of cash balance to support the additional appropriation.
thank you, Lisa. Are there any questions by council? Okay, seeing none, then we'll go ahead and open up for public comment. Public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Looks like there's nobody, so we'll close the public hearing. And
Motion to approve.
motion by Pete Peterson, second by Todd Zimmerman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It passes. Great. Then we have another resolution, R031824B, a request to approve additional appropriation for the Municipal Health Fund, and this is also requiring a public hearing.
Again, Lisa Bradford, City Controller. As you recall, during the 2024 budget process, the Health Department received funds as a result of a change to state law. So we received funds directly from the state. Initially, when we did our 2024 budget, we had an estimate of what we were to receive. After we prepared the 2024 budget, there were some counties that opted not to receive the funding from the state of Indiana, so that money was pooled together and then redistributed among the counties and the city health departments that elected to receive state funding. So this is just some additional funding that came in excess of what we originally received.
Thank you, Lisa. Are there any questions by council? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and open it up for a public hearing. Open it up. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close public hearing. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Pete Peterson, second by Tiffany Dutlitson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Thank you. Moving on to number 11 on the agenda, related to government miscellaneous. It's ordinance 31824A. This is a request to amend the City of Fishers Code of Ordinances to add Chapter 132, loitering, and we have Chief Gephardt.
Yeah, for the record, Chief Ed Gephardt, and then also along with me is Major Ryan Jones. Before I introduce the ordinance itself or talk to it a little bit here, I wanted Ryan on hand to tell you about some of the greater things that are going on in Fishers that helped to lead to this ordinance, and he can answer those questions better than I.
Good evening. So I want to give a little backstory about the issues that we've been experiencing with the loitering, and it's continuing to be a growing problem. It's not just downtown at the Edge building and around 116th and Lantern Road. This has expanded all the way out to Oleo Road. We had a car club out on 136th Street at a church at 136 and Prairie Baptist. We had another one that took over the Fry's lot about a year ago. There was probably 400 cars down there. So it's continued to be a growing problem, and it's kind of came to a head about 2 weeks ago when there was 500 cars at the Edge area, Circle K at 116th and Lantern, Fifth Third Bank, Target lot. Some of the issues we're experiencing, if you go up on the top of the Edge garage, you see where they are doing burnouts, they're doing excessive noise. I get several calls a week about the excessive noise. The officers and citizens are reporting gunshots because of the way the mufflers backfire and pop. They do sound like that. Officers that are on scene obviously know what it is, but citizens are calling in and causing a drain on several of the resources. Some of the issues at the Edge garage is also the burnouts, the excessive noise. I've seen videos, pictures of participants sitting on the edge of the garage, fearful that they could fall off. And damage to property. We've had several instances, specifically at the Edge garage, of damage to property where we've had to rectify with the business owners there. The big thing, not only the excessive trash, but the calls for service that we're getting on this is expanding each week, especially in the summer months. Anytime we get a call for service on this, it's taken about 4 to 6 officers. They have them leave the Edge, then they go to Circle K, and it's just a complete drain of resources at that time. Not only the issues while they're there, but the issues when they leave the event, is the excessive speeding, popping wheelies if they're on motorcycles, burnouts. It's a mess when they leave, and lack of better words, kind of taunting the police when they leave with their driving habits. Last 2 weeks ago, Circle K was unable to get a gas delivery because of all the vehicles that took over the lots there, and they were unable to get their gas delivered there. So it's just kind of a backstory of how it's growing, how it's trending, the issues that are expanding throughout the city, not just in the downtown area.
In addition to that, in talking to some of the partners to our south at Indianapolis Metro Police Department, they've experienced the same anomalies, except they've only grown and gotten more violent with complete street takeovers. I think that if we continue to not have some sort of council help with finding these individuals and telling them that it's not going to be tolerated here, I think we leave ourselves open to a very busy summer of dealing with this. And it's not to mention just the speeding that goes on already in and around the city of Fishers. This just adds to that, and these kind of events bring it. So I come forward to ask for your help to back us in a loitering ordinance that will help give us some teeth to not just chase them from business to business, but to actually find them and deal with them and send them on so they know that we don't tolerate it, and hopefully they wouldn't return to our jurisdictions. This will apply to our parking garages or parking lots, and by definition, I'll do the definition once and then I'll just relate back to it because you'll get tired of hearing it. But any owned by the city of Fishers or within public parking section of any privately owned parking garage or parking lot located within the city's corporate boundaries at a time or in a manner that warrants justifiable and reasonable alarm or immediate concern for the safety of persons or property in a parking garage, parking lot, or surrounding area. It is unlawful if creating any actual or danger or breach of peace. It's unreasonable danger of disturbance to the safety of any person in a parking garage, parking lot, public way, street, highway, place, or alley. Also, any obstruction of people that are normally flowing through those places that would normally be there in the course of their day to go to the businesses or go to the areas to park for other means. Any obstruction or interference or attempt to obstruct or interfere with any person lawfully or in a public place, street, highway, place, or alley in a manner that would cause a reasonable person or pedestrian of a parking lot, public way, streetway, highway, place, or alley to fear for their own safety. In addition to that, any obstruction or interference with patrons in normal course of business day at their businesses. And then lastly, any kind of unlawful disregard of a uniformed or otherwise properly identified City of Fishers police officer or identified correctly as an officer is also in violation. This is not to go in and have someone parked in a garage to make them leave. This is not a tool. This has to have something with it in order to get them to leave the area, which seems to be some of the debate. So the things that I've mentioned here and then being and remaining in the garage is what is going to cause us to enforce the fine of $250 per violation per person that's in those areas. We already started working with a lot of the businesses right after this 500 car, and I know it's 500 now because I've met with some of the organizers of the car meetup, so I know that number was north of 3. And I'm meeting with some more on Thursday and trying to work with them to warn them that we're just not going to tolerate it here. You can come up here, work with the city, go through permitting like everybody else, and I think we can help to have some safe areas for this to happen. But when they drop in like this, and I think it's the first of many that will happen, I think this ordinance will help us to curb this and have a safe summer for the city.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions by council members?
I have a question. Chris, is there a reason we can't suspend the rules tonight and pass this? Okay.
Chief, have you been able to, so you've been able to identify those that are orchestrating this, or is this just kind of a random, I mean, how?
Yeah, so some of the organizers have reached out, and I reached out and found one that knows them, and so I've kind of had some sit-downs going with them. So I know who's involved, and they contend that it's not on them, that they will put this out over social media, and then the more nefarious car goers will just show up unexpectedly.
I'm just trying to think in terms of this, like how you, because I'm 100% supportive of this, I think we should pass this tonight, but I'm the teeth behind it. I just don't know, like, does it need to step up? You know, if there's further instances, does there need to be a layer of approaches? I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is a good measured approach.
Yeah.
First and foremost, by no means are we saying to the community and those who are car enthusiasts that there aren't opportunities to be a part of this community and celebrate that. We have special event permits that people can go through the process like everyone else, and if they do so, we will work with folks. And the other thing, I just have the utmost confidence in the police department and Major Jones's patrol division that this is a tool in their toolbox that they'll use, with discretion where appropriate. This isn't about chasing somebody down that's on their laptop trying to hammer out an email in the parking lot of McDonald's. Right. That's not the intent here, but we have to draft a law that gives these guys enough flexibility and discretion to be able to do what they need to in ever evolving and complex situations. I think it's a good opportunity to implement something, then evaluate, and if we have to make adjustments at that point, we can. But just the council taking swift and decisive action also just sends a message in its own right that what's tolerated and what's not tolerated, and then we can adjust accordingly throughout the summer.
Well, it's just not only a nuisance, that's probably the least of the problems. It's the taunting, it's the, when you take off out of there, and who knows who they're gonna hit, you know? So, you know, I'm 100% supportive of it. I agree. I think we need to then assess it after a year, whatever, to say, hey, do we need to step up or whatever? So that's mine.
So,
Chief, do you think anybody will test you since we passed this?
You know, the measured approach to this is that some of the car owners that I've met with are more established. They're kind of in the super collection phase, and a lot of the trouble comes from the beginning phase drivers who don't have experience, and a $250 fine they think is reasonable, and it'll take it to them enough that it'll send a message that they won't come here. So I think it is enough to send the message that we want.
And I'm relatively confident that the majority of the folks at these events aren't sitting watching our city council meetings.
No. Yeah.
So there'll be a component of education and enforcement that then the word will spread, and hopefully that will dissuade them.
In this, if we suspend all the phases, we would move for this for April 1st, but there'll be a 2-week grace period for us to publicly notice, publicly put it out, let them know that this is happening. And I'm meeting with them Thursday, so if it passes here, I'm gonna start telling them to send down to their car groups that we're gonna fine you if this keeps to occur here in the city of Fishers.
Chief, thank you so much for getting ahead of this. I know everybody on Facebook and Nextdoor will greatly appreciate you moving so swiftly.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
I have a few questions here. How are other communities, for example, you said this is happening in Indianapolis, and I know you stated that some of this ordinance was kind of, how are they dealing with it on a large-scale basis? I mean, I've read things that out in California, they've actually gone in and had to confiscate the cars. I don't want to go to that measure, you know, I think where we're starting at now, but I would like to know kind of what is Indianapolis doing to kind of keep this under control?
So they're trying to move a tow ordinance through, and Lindsay and I have talked about that, and it would take us a little bit longer to craft that and to move that forward. We didn't feel confident with that tonight, but they use enforcement teams that are dedicated to this specifically because they're experiencing actual takeovers of intersections to where they monitor police reaction in time. By the time the police get there, they're gone from the intersection onto the next, and they're in these takeovers, they just drift the cars in circles and circles and circles, and we have videos of it and the danger that it creates not only to the participants involved, but anybody in near or around the intersection as well. What I've seen is some aggressive measures of, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Public Works, but there are things you can put down to stop drifting in intersections that I'm already looking into that I've learned from other jurisdictions. I think this is gonna be reasonable. I think working with them is gonna be reasonable, and I hope not to get to any of that. And I think it does have to have an evaluation period, and if we need more help from you, we'll certainly be back.
Thanks, Chief.
Chief,
Okay,
I have a question.
Okay.
Explain to me, is this going to be isolated in the areas that you described, or within neighborhoods? Or is this going to apply to my neighborhood where you might have 10 or 12 cars, not 500?
I think that my hope is that any kind of these functions, one, work with our city to partner with our city, if they're gonna hold any kind of events anywhere in our city, because even those we've witnessed in strip mall locations and so forth, the drifting gets started, and it's not what they do right there when they're showing their cars, it's when they get down to 116th or they get down to Oleo and the speed demonstrations start. So it could apply. This doesn't apply, we're not hitting residences here, we're not trying to hit driveways here or sidewalks or whatnot. But if you have a cul-de-sac in a subdivision and a pop-up meet starts, this could apply to that particular group of individuals if they're creating, in addition to being there, they're creating things that violate the ordinance, not just being there, right?
That's happening. I just want you to know.
I agree it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and approve on first reading.
Second. Okay, motion by Pete Peterson, second by John Weingart. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the ordinance of loitering by Pete Peterson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Todd Zimmerman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's approved. Okay, we're moving on to planning and zoning. Item 12, it's 031824B, request to vacate a utility easement within the Marsh Plat. And this also requires a public hearing.
Good evening. For the record, Ross Early, Planning and Zoning Director. Before you use item 12, 031824B, which is the Marsh Plat utility vacation. This is to request utility easement vacated within the Marsh Plat located along 96th Street at 8764 and 8768 96th Street. As part of the ongoing Strongbox development at the old Marsh location, they have replatted these lots. As you can see, there are new lot lines on there. The installation of new utilities has required this existing utility easement shown in that red square to be vacated and relocated. Once vacated, this new easement will be recorded. Before you tonight, staff is requesting a suspension of the rules and to approve on first reading. As you mentioned, Council President, this does require a public hearing.
Great. Are there any questions by council members? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this Marsh plot, please come up and state your name. Looking like there's nobody wanting to speak. We'll close the public hearing.
Suspend the rules and approve on first.
Motion to suspend the rules by Pete Peterson and
Second.
approve. Second by Selena Stoller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the
Second.
plat easement.
Second.
Second. Motion by Pete Peterson, second by Tiffany Dutlitson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, we're moving on to item 13. It's the Geist Community Center annexation. It's 031824C, request to approve voluntary annexation of 7.12 acres known as the Geist Community Center property.
Ross Hillary, Planning and Zoning Director. The only thing I would add is the address is 14500 East 96th Street. It is a total of 7.12 acres, and they are required to annex because of a sewer connection. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Ross?
At first reading?
This also requires a public hearing.
Sorry.
So I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this, please come up to the podium. No one's wishing to speak. We'll close the public hearing.
Have first reading.
And first reading by Pete Peterson. Thank you. We're moving on to regular items on the agenda. Item 14, we do not have any unfinished business or new business, and so we'll move on to community comment. If there's anyone wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Okay, we don't have any community comments, people here. We did receive some online, and those will be entered into the minutes of the meeting. And so I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Pete Peterson, second by Selena Stoller. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.